Right, something I get asked an awful lot is about ground bait mixes. What mixes do I use in what situations? Feeder fishing wise, I tend not to divert too much away from a favourite mix of mine, and it's one that I know I've caught an awful lot of fish with, but more importantly, it mixes up beautifully to the point where I can use it on the drier side right through to a sloppy mix if I want it. It's the same mix, I don't change it, and I can do everything I want with it by altering the amount of water in it. That to me simplifies everything. I know it's a mix that works because I've used it for years, and if I'm in doubt of what I want to use, whether it be around a method or through a cage feeder on a master bait like this, then I just revert back to what I know, and that is simply a bag of Special G Gold with a third of a bag of Pro Natural Fine Lake in it. The Special G Gold I've used for donkey's years. We use it as paste on commercials for carp, but it is an absolutely brilliant ground bait. Super strong fish meal, really high quality fish meal. And then what I do is add a bit of the Fine Lake to it. The Fine Lake's a dark mix, very fine mix, but so that brings down the level of colour to a bit more of a neutral kind of colour. And what that does is it also adds a little pop of sort of biscuity. There's no fish meal in Pro Natural, so you get a little pop of biscuit, and you can do different things with it. Keep it dry, and it pops and fizzes on the bottom. Or likewise, you can add more water through the day to make up wet mixes, and then sloppy mixes if you want to put it through windows, etc. And that is basically it for my feeder mixes for when I go, whether it's big bream on a huge reservoir somewhere like Llandegford, whether I'm going down to Chard, Durley, or somewhere like this, we're looking to catch small palm-sized skimmers. I tend not to divert away from this. So let's get it mixed up and have a look. Right, so we've got our bag of Special G Gold in there. I'm going to add about that much Fine Lake. You know, some of you out there might want to measure your mixes. I don't. I haven't got time for it. As you can see, the contrasting colours. Again, that Fine Lake's going to just bring down the depth of colour. So I'm going to be lazy and use a drill. Give this a quick whiz. And now start adding water a little bit at a time. And you'll see although that looks quite light, you'll see it darken off. So we'll pop a pint of water in. Straight away you can see the colour starting to drop. If you want it darker than that, you can add some more of the Pro Natural. That I'm happy with that. That's fine, and that's a really nice mix. That's really nice and dry at this stage. Just let it stand for 10 minutes, quarter an hour. Let it absorb all those particles. Let it absorb all the water rather, and let those particles become completely saturated. We'll come back to it, remix it, finish it off, ready for fishing. Incidentally, very quickly, this is the time if you want to add some liquid attractors, and it's something I've started doing a lot more over the last few years, purely because I see venues that definitely respond to it. Barston is one. You know, liquid attractors on Barston, you almost can't go there without them these days. And I don't worry about mixing it in the water. I mean, this one's Pro Natural Bream. You could drink that. I don't, but you could. Stick a good glug in. I also don't think you can overdo these. There's about a quarter of a bottle in with that. Give it a quick whiz. Straight away I can smell that. That's coming out of the bucket at me. That little bit of extra moisture and the sweeteners and sugars in that mix have already started to add a little bit of binding to that. So whilst I get my rods plumbed up, I'm going to let that sit for 10 minutes and then we'll come back and have a look. Right, I've been away, set some kit up. It's been about 15-20 minutes. I've come back and the ground bait, as you can see, is really dried out quite a bit where all that water's been absorbed. Put a splash more on. You can really smell that Pro Natural liquid is absolutely stunning. There we are, and that now is absolutely perfect. Still got a relatively dry consistency. I'll quickly put this through a riddle. I'm only doing that because we're fishing for small fish, and I want it nice and fine. But that'll start the day off. We'll fish like this for a little while, and then as the day goes on, I'll have a little tub of water on my side tray, and I can keep adding water to it and change the consistency of the mix, even up to the point of using slop if we need to. Let's get it on the box and try and catch a few fish.